me in the game, coach. Put me in the game. Come on, put me in the game, coach. Put me in the game, coach. Put me in the game. Come on, put me in the game, coach. Put me in the game, coach. Put me in the game. Come on, put me in the game, coach. Put me in the game, coach. Put me in the man, Joe. I went from the benches to the trenches.
Ready and break. Good morning. Hope everyone's having a great day. Welcome back to the Put Me in the Game Coach podcast. I am joined with my brother again, Eddie.
What's up, everybody?
What's up? And we're going to be doing some playoff predictions because tomorrow or whenever I put this up, the playoffs will be starting for the NFL. And our team, the Seahawks, are in, so we're very excited about that. But we'll get into all the matchups here in a second. But before we get into playoff predictions, we had a pretty crazy season because of COVID and everything like that. But surprisingly, everything turned out really well. Had some great games. I think one of the best games was that Baltimore-Cleveland game.
That was a wild game. Yeah, that was crazy.
That was the game that Lamar Jackson he had that Paul Pierce moment where he went back to the locker room, took a poop real quick, and then came back on the field and clutched it out. So, very cool, a very cool season. Going back, I watched our last video, and we had some I think our predictions were pretty, I would say accurate in terms of how things played out, like who is good, who are the sleeper teams, and so forth. And I'll kind of remind us how that went. But I remember my MVP, and I think your MVP prediction was Russell Wilson. And I think you could say for the first 8 weeks or so.
8 weeks, yeah. He was MVP.
For the first half of the season
he was the best player.
And then the wheels fell off on that one, and I don't know really what happened. Do you want to just get into MVP predictions now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. It's because my MVP prediction would be Aaron Rodgers. I think there's really only two options, Aaron Rodgers or Pat Mahomes. Would you agree?
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, Pat Mahomes, and I agree with you with Rodgers because he's surpassed Mahomes this year in everything as far as stats and stuff, and he is more relied upon by his team than Mahomes is. Mahomes has way more weapons at his disposal and a crazy good coach. Matt LaFleur is good, but I think Aaron Rodgers makes him look really good. Yeah,
I agree exactly. Statistically, Aaron Rodgers had a better season. I agree. Matt LaFleur is a good coach, but Andy Reid's a championship coach, and
they got Tyreek Hill. They got Travis Kelce, who's going to be a future Hall of Famer. Their line is really good.
Their backs.
Yeah, they got a great defense.
I think Clyde. I'm not sure if he'll be back soon. I know he got hurt. But we'll see if he'll be back for the playoffs. In the prediction or in the first video we did, one of the points that was made as to why maybe Pat Mahomes wouldn't return as an MVP was because of the fact that the Chiefs were still a playoff team back when they had Alex Smith. Was one of the points that was made. Mm-hmm. That if you can put another quarterback in that system, and they'll do pretty well. You could put. I'm not too high on Dak Prescott, but injury aside, I think he would have.
He would have done well. Yeah, he would have done really well, I think. Put in, like you said, Alex Smith. He's good, not great. Or even when he was on the Chiefs, he was great, but not special.
Yeah.
Mahomes puts him over the top. Mahomes puts him. They've won so many close games. I've seen him down in so many games. The Falcons almost had their number, but they're, that's another thing.
I think the only team they lost to was they lost the last game, but they had their backups in. But they lost to the Raiders this year as well.
Yep.
So yeah, I would say it's Aaron Rodgers for me, and then then Pat Mahomes, and then Josh Allen had a good year. I just want to say,
Josh Allen's good. I want to put out Derrick Henry.
Now that you mention it, let's just get to Offensive Player of the Year because
Definitely
Derrick Henry to me is the Offensive Player of the Year, no question. And there's some really good players that played it, and I want to just add Alvin Kamara into the mix, especially because that 6-game Christmas game that he had, 6-touchdown Christmas game, I should say. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I've never seen it. Have you ever seen anything like that before?
No, I mean, he tied the record. If he had one more, he would have had the record. You don't. I mean, even nowadays with how the running back league, they're like how running backs are viewed and played with in this league now. It's like, I'm surprised Derrick Henry got 2K yards. Like that hasn't happened since CJ 2K.
Yeah, it's true. Another Titan.
And it's like that was like 10 years ago or more.
Yeah, I think about 10 years ago.
It's like they're just not used like that anymore. Every back, you have the 2 backs, 3 backs on your team, and it's kind of just running back by committee. But no, these guys stand out. They're.
And what's also impressive is his total yards it's 2K on the ground. It's not
Not total.
I think Alvin Kamara got 2,100. Oh no, Alvin Kamara got 1,700 total yards. Another guy I want to shout out is Dalvin Cook. He got 1,900 total yards.
Dalvin Cook almost single-handedly beat us. If he didn't get injured,
he got injured.
If he didn't get injured in that game, we were out. We were already done. That was a loss.
Right. So Dalvin Cook had a really good year. He missed a few games, as did Alvin Kamara, if I'm not mistaken. But Derrick Henry, 16 games. Played the whole season and he killed it,
destroyed it.
But someone who didn't play all 16 games, and I think had they played all 16 games, would maybe be in the running for this is Devontae Adams from Green Bay.
Yes, Devontae Adams is nuts. Give credit to Aaron Rodgers, though. He's always looking for him. That's kind of their only guy they have, really.
Yeah.
Who else are they throwing it to?
Well, it could have been, it could have been a pretty good wide receiver had they not taken Jordan Love in the first round.
Exactly. That's true.
Yeah.
And he kind of made him look really dumb with that pick.
Oh, yeah. I think, if anything, this is Aaron Rodgers just like,
revenge season.
You want to play?
Yeah.
You want to play with me? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, Aaron Rodgers for MVP, Derrick Henry for the OPOY.
Definitely.
OPOY? Yeah, OPOY. And then I wanted to see if I was going to shout out anybody else for offense, but I think those are the guys.
Honestly, I'm going to withdraw my MVP vote. I'm giving it to Derrick Henry. Thinking about it,
really?
he without them, their defense isn't that good. Their pass rush is like the worst in the league. If it wasn't for him, he makes Tannehill look really good because he doesn't have to throw the ball.
They have some special receivers too, which is like Tannehill is lucky because he has Derrick Henry and then he has those receivers.
AJ Brown, is it?
AJ Brown and then
they're incredibly good.
I'm forgetting Corey Davis.
But if you watch their games too, they're always open. You know why? Because the defense is biting on Derrick Henry every play.
8 in the box.
Yeah, exactly. So they're always open. So Tannehill is throwing easy targets.
Right.
So I'm gonna give it to Derrick Henry.
I wish I could say the same. I really love Derrick Henry, and I love his season that he had, especially because I also noticed that he's the first, if I'm not mistaken, 2,000-yard rusher with no Pro Bowl lineman. Taylor Lewan was out, and
that's the other thing too. It's like,
that's ridiculous, and it's also impressive because I think it's 3 years now. He's just been killing it every season, and then he's just getting better. It's crazy.
Did he have 2 signature stiff arms this year?
I think so. Yeah.
He just bodied some dudes.
He had another 90+ yard touchdown. Like,
Yep.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What was it? 17 total touchdowns. I think he had 17 total touchdowns.
Yeah,
as a running back.
he's a freaking. He's like bigger than Bobby Wagner, but he runs the ball.
Exactly. He's a linebacker running
Yeah.
back. Yeah. So let's move on to. Should we move on to the? Let's move on to the rookies real quick because the defensive player is a little trickier. As far as the rookies go, for offense, there's another running back who had a really good year. His name is James Robinson, and he's from Jacksonville. He had 1,400 total yards, and 10 total touchdowns.
That's crazy.
And he was an undrafted rookie.
And they're 1-15.
Yeah. Hopefully, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
I mean,
we'll see about I'm not sold on Trevor Lawrence. I think he's really good, but I think it's every year there's always one QB, and like, you know, last year it was Tua. It was who was the first pick, who I think would have won rookie of the year.
I was gonna say that too.
Guy from Bengals. I forgot his name.
I was just watching an interview with him too.
Me too.
Why am I forgetting his name? Yeah, Colin Cowherd. Colin Cowherd, aka Colin, thick, trunky, coastal kid Cowherd. Why am I forgetting his name? Oh my gosh, Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. There you go.
I think Joe Burrow also was on.
Something.
He was on pace. I think he was gonna have a really good season, but this is nothing to take away from who I actually think deserved to get rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year is Justin Herbert. He broke the record for touchdowns.
Yep.
He had, I think he went 7-8, I think, as a starter, and I just think.
And I think
really
a lot
season.
of those losses were due to coaching mishaps. They weren't directly on his hands, you know.
I think they could have. I think there were like three losses that were not his fault at all.
It was just they mismanaged the game, mismanaged
Chargers. Is just Chargers being
football.
Chargers?
Yeah, but no, he did really well. Justin Jefferson was insane.
That was the other guy I was gonna get to.
Yeah, like he was just. I haven't seen. I mean, Randy Moss. So,
Vikings.
but I mean, he's not that physical freak like Randy Moss, but you know, he's that rookie that comes to has came to the league with hitting the ground running. You know, I think DK had a little bit of that last year, but he was more of the physical freak. They're like, wow, we haven't seen anything like this since Calvin Johnson or Randy Moss, and Justin Jefferson is just on point.
Yeah.
You know,
he's great. One of my favorite receivers already. He, in terms of stats, he had 1,400 total yards, which I think broke the record for most total yards by a rookie. Receiving yards, and then 7 touchdowns. Here I thought without Stephon Diggs, they weren't gonna, be able to.
Yeah.
The receivers were gonna kind of be lackluster, but Justin Jefferson was a pleasant surprise. Speaking of Stephon Diggs, he had a great season.
Yep. He had the best season, right?
I think.
Stat-wise,
other than Devontae Adams, because he missed 2 games. I think if Devontae Adams didn't miss any games, he had 18 touchdowns. Devontae Adams had. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy. I think he might have broken the record for 23. I think it's 22 or 23 receiving touchdowns is the record.
Mm-hmm.
That's 5 touchdowns in 2 games. I mean, I think he had 3 touchdown games this season.
Yeah, I think that's due to him being more of a red zone threat than Stephon Diggs is. Exactly. But, like, I mean, he's just big and lengthy and stuff. Stephon Diggs is that I'm going to beat you on a ball race and catch me if you can kind of guy. And, he
his footwork is very it's like an ankle breaker each time he's on the line.
Yeah. And they just have to throw it up and he catches it, or he has to chase it down.
Yeah. Also helps that you got Josh Allen throwing it to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's For me, it's still Justin Herbert. 4,500 total yards. Because he ran the ball. I think he had 5 rushing touchdowns, and he ended up with 36 total touchdowns. So as a rookie, it's super impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And then so defensive rookie of the year. This one's also a little harder. But I'm just gonna throw out some names. So Chase Young from the Washington football team. Almost messed that one up. Chase Young, I think, was your pick for defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
And I would just go ahead and say I'm gonna pick him. But the other names that are up there were Patrick Queen from the linebacker from the Ravens, and then Antoine Winfield Jr. from Tampa Bay. As far as stats go, Antoine Winfield had a really good year. 94 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. Patrick Queen, 106 tackles, 3 sacks, 1 interception, 2 forced fumbles. But Chase Young, I think, made more of an impact, just because, first of all, the Washington defense definitely turned around, and I don't know if it was just Ron Rivera. I think it was the energy and the.
They have good. They were drafted well this year and the last year, I think.
Yeah, because they had Montez Sweat. Montez Sweat was
really good.
He was a steal last year.
Yeah.
And then now Chase Young. I think their edge is solidified. He had 7.5 sacks, but he had 4 forced fumbles and 1 touchdown. So I think in terms of like turnovers and more of an impact, I think he made the biggest impact for his team. Not to say that Patrick Queen or Antoine Winfield are, like they're also in the playoffs, and I'm sure they're gonna, have for the rest of these games they're gonna do really well. But for me, I think Chase Young is he's not the clear choice, but I think for me he's my pick.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think he's going to be insanely good for years to come, Right. This was just the taste.
Yeah.
And it's the first year under Ron Rivera. Hopefully he gets through this cancer thing and can continue going, But
T's and P's.
He's one of those guys that came in and changed the culture, even with all the drama around their name change and stuff. I think they stood out. They just need to get
quarterback.
Alex Smith, every time you watch him play, you're like, anytime somebody gets close to him, it's like, I don't know. I wouldn't want that as an organization, where your main guy can just like.
And it's not the fact that he was bad. He played well. Yeah. It's just the fact that it's his injury history. Mm-hmm. You don't want a guy like that to like.
You don't want to put all your chips in with him,
if you're going for a run, like a playoff run, I don't think Alex Smith is your answer, unfortunately. But I want to shout out Alex Smith because he's my pick for comeback player of the year.
Definitely.
And it's really it's mainly because of what he has overcome is 17 surgeries.
Yeah.
He had an infection that almost, cost him his life. I think mentally, he's got to be one of the greatest to ever do it because I don't know, like, how many people can come back from that. Listen to Cam Newton. Actually, we'll get back to that, but Cam Newton came out recently saying, like, he wouldn't be a backup. I think you have to okay. Cam Newton is great. He had a down year this year. I think he shouldn't just put himself in that position to say I'm not going to be a backup coming into next season because you're not earning it. You didn't earn it.
I do think the Patriots had a down year. I think it wasn't a result because of Cam Newton. It was like the Patriots just didn't have anybody. He was thrown to lawn chairs.
Yeah.
All season. And
then a lot of people opted out on their team, but I still think that...
That's true. A lot of... Because of COVID,
I still think that he didn't do it... I think he could have played better, and I don't think he's earned a starting spot. But speaking of Cam Newton, and speaking of Washington, I hear that they're interested in each other. So maybe that Ron Rivera, relationship will bring him back to.
I feel like what I saw from Cam Newton is that you have to coach him the way he plays. You can't put him on a team that is going to use him a way he's not meant to be used. If he's not going to get the ball and run it like almost every play, or you can't ask him to hit the deep ball every play.
So how would you use him?
Run play, kind of like they use Lamar Jackson, but more in a power set. Like add more blockers.
Cliff Kingsbury.
Maybe, but I don't want him in the NFC West.
Well,
but
they're not going to get rid of
no,
Kyler
they're not
Murray.
No, but
he might be a back. If he wants to be a backup, that'd be a great place for him.
Yeah, he's big. If he has time in the pocket, he can make the throws. But yeah, I think Josh McDaniels, it showed that he didn't exactly know how to use him, and they didn't have the weapons around him.
Right.
So
maybe the 49ers.
I would take Cam Newton over any of the bottom 10 QBs in the league. Think about like
whoever. Oh yeah, I mean, I think there's only maybe 15 quarterbacks in the league that I'd take over him.
If you're the Jaguars and you don't pick up Trevor Lawrence and you're just going with Gardner Minshew.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
Because another piece of information or report that came out today was that Houston Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson might request a trade. He is unhappy with the decision that he wasn't involved in making the decision to hire the new GM. He was super upset about that. I think rightfully so. He's definitely the face of the franchise. Okay, so I saw Honey Badger tweeted. He was like, "Hey, if I'm the Saints, if I'm Chicago, if I'm I forgot who else, I would definitely be taking a look at Deshaun Watson's situation." Saints was the first thing that came to my mind because I think this is Drew Brees' last year.
Yeah.
I think he'd be a great addition to that team. I think they have the pieces to trade for him anyways. But I want to raise the question, if you're Jacksonville, you have the number 1 pick. Do you want to go for Trevor Lawrence, who isn't established, or do you want to go for the Michael Jordan of football?
The way I see Jacksonville is that they're starting with a clean slate, So I think because they're getting a new coach as well, right?
Yeah.
So
Urban Meyer
a new coach is going to want to come in.
Front runner.
Yeah, a new coach is going to want to come in and have picks. It's hard to say, I guess it depends on the coach. Honestly, who goes in there and is like, do they want a proven QB or do they want to start fresh?
Yeah.
I
would like to think Jacksonville would think about it. I think they should think about it, but at the same time, I don't think it's likely, especially because they're a division rival. I really don't think they'd send them to a division rival. That'd just be a huge mistake.
So who's all vacant right now? So Jacksonville, the Jets, Houston, Chargers.
I think Chargers are the best option for anyone any new head coach that wants to come back to the league. I think the Chargers is the best destination. You have your quarterback of the future already. Mm-hmm. Now you have Joey Bosa, and then you have Derwin James coming back for injury. Both of them. Well, no, I think Joey's playing.
Yeah, pick up a running back or they got a good wide receiver in what's his name?
Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen, yeah.
Hunter Henry, he's a free agent though, or he will be.
Yeah, maybe shore up the offensive line.
Their DBs are pretty good. Like I said, Derwin James, and then you have Casey Hayward and the guy from the Broncos last year. Why am I forgetting his name? Who's the other cornerback from the Broncos?
Oh, Chris Harris.
Chris Harris.
Yeah. Yeah. back to the Deshaun Watson thing. I would really love to see him in New England.
I was gonna say that as well.
And
Dang.
I don't know. I think New England has the pieces to do it. I think they've gotten a couple first rounders, right?
I think I would like to trade.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they just have the one first rounder.
I mean, they're picking middle of the pack this year, right?
Yeah, I think they have the number 10 pick.
That and maybe some other guy, send somebody over there. I don't know. Get it done, New England, if you want to win again.
Yeah, that would be super Belichick,
Yeah.
a Belichick thing to do. It's either him or maybe go back for Garoppolo or something like
That's
that.
the other thing, too. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, if they're going to ship Jimmy G out, where's he going, and what are the Niners going to get back?
Cam Newton, maybe.
Maybe.
Like if they want to run, if he wants to run, their running game is what they rely on.
Yeah.
They don't really rely on their passing game, obviously.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
many pieces are going to be
that's-
moving around this year.
that's another thing because the new GM for the Houston Texans was with the Patriots, so maybe Belichick, he's like doing his like Sith Lord thing, like
Well, yeah,
Go to Houston,
Yeah.
and then once your GM send me Deshaun, do it.
Do it.
I don't know. I'm just excited to see if this free agency is going to be really
It's
wild.
gonna be wild. I mean, even in our own team, the Hawks, like, I'm kind of scared, antsy. I don't know. There's
Carson,
KJ, Shaquille Griffin, a bunch of 1 year guys we got, 1 and 2 year guys that Quandre Diggs, is he gonna be a free agent?
no.
Oh, okay.
But I think we need to re-sign Jamal Adams next year.
Yeah.
Next year.
That's another one. That's gonna
But
be a
we're
big
gonna have to
ticket.
do like we might have to sign a contract with him this
Yeah.
year, this offseason.
It'll be tough.
I think it might be time to move on from Shaquille Griffin. Maybe.
I do like him. He's one
I
of
like
those
him
guys
too.
who's like, he's let some important plays go, but he's also made plays. Like,
Yeah.
I think
I like him too.
He's
I
made
just-
more good plays than the really bad plays he's let go. You
Yeah.
know.
If there isn't any good corners on the market, I think keep him. And there really isn't. There's just like Sherman. I'd love to have him back just cause.
Yeah.
But he's old. Patrick Peterson is another guy, but he's also on the wrong side of 30.
Yeah.
That's really it.
I know we need to draft corners.
Yeah, we need to draft secondary.
We need to draft corners. And man, we have a good we have like Marquise Blair, who got injured this year, but I thought was gonna have an amazing year.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
I mean, I think we have young, like depth guys,
Yeah.
so it's hard. I'm gonna be sad if we have to move off of him, but if it's to keep Jamal Adams or even KJ does not look like he's playing in his 10th year, 11th, or
KJ definitely had a resurgence. I think he's played like LOB KJ.
yeah,
Like where he was underrated and like
sniffing out the screens and sniffing out the what do you call it, in the flats, like
yeah.
he's all over it. Anytime a QB doesn't have anybody open, he's just trying to check it down. KJ's all over it.
Yeah.
They don't make a first down. They don't make that 5-yard gain off that. It's KJ's right there, and he's got picks too, right?
I think he's got 2,
he
or 3 maybe.
yeah, he's just good, and I think we need his leadership.
And forced fumbles. He's got a couple forced fumbles.
Yeah.
Maybe fumble recoveries. Actually, low key, now that I'm thinking about it, this might be one of his best years, if not his best year.
Yeah, honestly, he in a way he kind of got Pro Bowl snubbed, but he just played under the radar, but very consistently all year.
Yeah. I would hope that doesn't like make his contract negotiations go up a little bit.
Yeah,
'Cause,
see. Might become pricey.
Are you sure he's a free agent?
That's what I saw today.
Oh, okay.
He's on the list of free agents.
What was I gonna say? Let's take it back to Houston real quick.
Okay.
There's another guy, face of the franchise.
JJ.
Call him JJ Swat, legend himself. He is not happy with the team. Clearly,
No.
He hasn't like said I want to trade or anything like that, but he's clearly not happy with the team. And the team, he's a little older too. He's I think about 32, and as much as of a legacy he's built there, his contract for next season is about 23 or something, 23 million.
Wow.
And if they cut him, they don't owe any dead cap, any dead space. So, he might just get cut to save that 23 million and go somewhere else if he gets cut. If he gets cut,
The thing is, he's not putting up the $23 million numbers.
that's another reason why. But
If I was a new head coach going to Houston, I'd be like, sorry, JJ, thanks for your time, but
you're gone.
you got especially if you want to keep Deshaun Watson. If somebody wants to come in.
Yeah, because you need to shore up that O line.
Yeah, if Urban Meyers comes in and is like, I don't need a pick. I'll take just Deshaun Watson, but let's cut JJ and let's, shore up that O-line, put more pieces around Deshaun, because he was the yards leader this year on a terrible team.
Yeah. Honestly, Deshaun Watson, I think, has the second best stats for a quarterback this year. So, like, just how impressive that is for a team that went, like, 4-12 is crazy. I think the GM and the coach, whoever it is, they have to make sure that they need to shore up that O-line more than anything. They have to protect him if they want to keep him, first of all, and to succeed. Yeah. Where would JJ go? Because I think the only two logical places he could go are back home to Wisconsin, Green Bay, or join the rest of the Watt brothers in Pittsburgh.
That'd be crazy. That would be kind of cool. I mean, I think if I was JJ and I got cut and I wasn't going to be making the money I wanted to, I'd go to the Steelers if they wanted to get me, for a minimum. But I'd also look at the Steelers. I mean, depending on how they finish this year,
and Big Ben
coming back,
yeah,
who's going to be
that's
their
a big
QB?
question.
Does JJ want a Super Bowl?
Both of them are contenders.
The Hawks will take him.
Yeah, the Hawks will take him.
JJ, we'll take you.
We'll open arms,
For
JJ.
cheap,
Yeah,
but we'll take you.
put you in the put you at D tackle.
Don't get hurt.
Right. I think if Big Ben comes back next season, I think that he'd go to the Steelers. If Big Ben maybe chokes during the playoffs or doesn't look good or says he's retiring or something like that.
Or they just get beat. The AFC is hard.
But
Are they going to beat the Bills? Or are they going to beat KC? Or are they going to beat Baltimore?
we'll get to those playoffs. We'll get to those playoff predictions.
All right.
But I think I'd love to see him on Green Bay.
Yeah. I mean, I just would like to see him keep playing. I think he still has something to offer.
I think he can play literally. I think he can play another 7-8 years.
Yeah, not at his current price tag, but the NFL's better with the JJ Watt.
Exactly. Okay, so let's talk about JJ Watt's brother, TJ Watt, who had an incredible season. But was it enough to secure the DPOY, the DPOY? What do you think?
It's hard.
I
I
think
mean, who's on the list? Let's see. We got that. I mean,
TJ, Aaron Donald,
Aaron Donald's always
and
up
maybe Xavier Howard. 10 picks. I mean, it hasn't been done since Antonio Cromartie in 2007. It hasn't been done where someone's gotten 10 picks. He also had a forced fumble. TJ Watt had 15 sacks, 1 interception, 2 forced fumbles. I think if what was it, like week 12 they lost their first game? If the season ended right there, TJ Watt would have been the lock for defensive player of the year because they would have just wanted to, the NFL would have wanted to give it to a Steeler just to, put a face to the team. Give it to TJ Watt. He had a good season, whatever. But they started losing a lot of games. I think they lost 4 of their last 5 games or something like that. And then the defense just wasn't as good, obviously. And Aaron Donald is consistent. Aaron Donald had a great season as well. He was second in sacks, just only to TJ Watt. He had 13.5 sacks. So we're only talking about 1.5 sack difference. He had 4 forced fumbles as opposed to TJ's 2. So he had more turnovers. He had a fumble recovery. And I think I would pick Aaron Donald. What about you?
I think I'm going to go with TJ because I think the Defensive Player of the Year award goes to the better stats. And I think with that, I think sacks are significant.
We're talking about 1.5, though. And I think Aaron Donald had more actual turnovers, though.
Yeah, I'm going to give it, Aaron Donald gets it every year. So
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a TJ. I will say if there was a defensive MVP award, the most valuable, I'd give it to Howard because
Really?
yeah, I think he has less pieces around that defense,
I would give it to Aaron Donald literally every year.
But he has Jalen Ramsey, who's
But
walking
you know
down
what?
the
I
receiver.
think what Jalen Ramsey is even better like now is because you have someone putting pressure on the quarterback and they
that's
can
true.
make a mistake when they're tossing it to you.
I'm saying this year. Because they also have more pieces. Rams have some.
I think
guys in
TJ will
there.
ultimately get it, but I'm gonna pick Aaron Donald.
Yeah, their defensive scheme is good too. Do they still have Wade Phillips?
No.
No, okay.
I think he's
but
retired.
Still, he's really good. I don't know. I just think there was name one other guy on the Dolphins. One other defensive player. That is significant. I'm sure you can name one.
So
but
I really like Byron Jones. I think he's a really good cornerback. But you're not wrong. I think Xavier Howard's a really good player.
yeah.
I just think most valuable. I really think that Aaron Donald is like the most valuable defensive player, and I give it to him every time. I'm also biased because we have to play him twice a year,
Exactly.
and I see what he does to Russ. He just tosses him around like a rag doll. It's like
this last game wasn't too bad. I think Russ got sacked, but not by Aaron Donald.
no, he got sacked by Aaron Donald.
Maybe once, but not like the 6 times he usually sacks him.
Yeah.
But
Man.
No, they have really they have a good defense. They're all good guys who just aren't. Their name doesn't splash on the billboards, but they're just all really good ones.
The Rams?
Yeah.
Linebackers. Floyd.
Yeah. Dude, he was.
Gosh,
good.
what's his first name again?
He
Leonard.
messed up both games.
He had a really good season. He was with the Bears before, and he wasn't really productive. And then he went to the Rams, and now he just blowed up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were a little different on that one. I think that's the only one where we disagreed on. But you took Derrick Henry for MVP.
Even Steelers too. They got Minka, they got an amazing rest of the line. They have Cameron Hayward, right?
Yeah, Cameron Hayward.
So it's
who is another? You could have also mentioned him for Defensive Player of the Year, Cameron Hayward.
Yeah. So let's move on.
Last one will just be the Coach of the Year, and I'll bring it back to the Dolphins because I think Brian Flores deserves this one. It's either Brian Flores or McDermott from the Bills.
I think McDermott did win it today. Did I see that?
I think he won it last year. Oh, did they already come out with awards today?
I think I saw it today. Maybe
Really?
I might be tripping. It might have just been
Prediction?
a candidate or something.
I would say it's
or
one of those
nominee.
two. I think McDermott could win it. I thought he won it last year. Maybe that's why I thought to just pick Brian Flores from the Dolphins.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give it to Brian Flores because I was not expecting him to be this good. I think they were the biggest sleeper team, the biggest team, surprise team for me this season.
Yeah, definitely. I think maybe Stefanski out of Cleveland.
He was good
it's just-
too,
well,
but
those teams are so similar in their history as like just never making the playoffs, always getting new coaches.
here's why I wouldn't pick Stefanski. I know he made the playoffs over Flores, which is, congratulations to that. The only thing is, I look at the stats. There was a stat that said that the point differential was in the negatives for the Browns, for the season. Is like, it was in the negative, so it's like
The games they lost, they got blown out.
No. I think for the overall total season, they gave up more points than they actually scored, which I don't think it's hard to make the playoffs when you do that. But the Browns did it. Congratulations to them. So, I think to me, Flores deserves it. So
I'd give it to Flores or McDermott. Yeah.
Yeah. So that wraps up our award predictions and a little bit of trade rumors, I guess.
I'm just thinking too, Matt LaFleur.
Yes,
It's hard to go 13-3 in your second season.
Yes and no, because Aaron Rodgers is the MVP.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
He's a bad man, as Stephen A would say.
It's true.
So speaking of Aaron Rodgers, the Packers are the first seed in the NFC, which with the new rules in the NFL in terms of playoffs, the first seed for both conferences, they have a bye week now, which I like, actually. I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah.
It actually makes the first seed, not just home field advantage anymore, like you get a bye. I like that about these new playoff rules, or this format. So the Packers and the Chiefs buys, so that leaves the wild card round to the 2 through 7 seeds. So let's start off with Saturday's games. So the first game of Saturday it's going to be Colts versus Bills. So possibly Phillip Rivers' last game. I think
You think he's gonna retire?
I think he has already said that
That
he's going to be done if they don't make a run this postseason. Or I think just regardless whether or not they make it to the championship, whatever. I think he's just done. So if they lose this game, this could potentially be Phillip Rivers' last game.
Yeah.
He's a okay year, not Phillip Rivers' best year, but one of the most underrated players, quarterbacks of this generation.
Definitely. He's a turnover machine, but he's a good leader. Put the right pieces around him, he can do the job. So.
Respect. Hats off to Phillip Rivers. I hope he enjoys retirement. If this really is the last game, I'd like to see him win. Just one more time in the playoffs. But really, I think the Bills are just. I think the Bills. I'm just gonna say it right now. First of all, they're going to the AFC Championship. I think it's Bills versus Chiefs, and I would not be surprised if the Bills beat the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl.
And they'd play an Arrowhead?
They would play an Arrowhead, but
Okay.
they wouldn't play them until the AFC Championship.
I watched their game earlier this season. So the Chiefs beat them. And they beat them good. I think I'd take the Chiefs. If I was putting money, I'd want the Bills to win, but I think the Chiefs will win that game.
I think so too, but I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised.
They just find ways to win. You know, they don't. It doesn't look pretty. You know, they're kind of like the Hawks. Doesn't look pretty for 2-3 quarters, and then something turns on, and they just
That something's called Pat Mahomes.
yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, and then that's something on art is Russell Wilson. So it's
Right.
like that's what happens. So
So I think we both have the Bills moving forward against the Colts.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not beat around the bush.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a little harder. The next game on the slate is Rams versus Seahawks.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring my bias into this. Here's what I'll say. The Seahawks offense has been very, very bad. It's bad, just plain and simple. They need to pick it up on offense, which I don't think is. I wouldn't be surprised if they were just on it on Saturday, like if they can just go and just pick it up. But if they don't, it's a battle of defenses, and we know they have Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
It's not like our defense is any slouch, but we did get lucky that Jared Goff got hurt, and even so, that Jared Goff isn't really consistent. He could have just been a problem with it for us.
Yeah.
We did get lucky that happened, and
Our defense just came to play, that day.
they did play well that game.
So, it's a tough one, and it depends on if I heard Jared Goff isn't officially out of the game yet.
I heard Jared Goff say today that he's gonna play no matter what.
There you go. So, I mean, he isn't nothing, and if you look
Former
at the
number one
last,
pick.
If you look at the last 8 games we've played with the Rams, they've beat us. I mean, we've probably beat them like twice in those 8 games. They've had our number.
They've been a great team the last 3 years.
They're over 500 on us for sure. The last 4 years,
Yeah.
They just Sean McVay knows how to scheme against our defense very well. It's always those bootlegs, and he knows exactly when to run on us. So it's just tough. They just match up well with us too. I hate to say it, but Jalen Ramsey's locking down Metcalf, and he can't do anything.
But Lockett
Lockett had a game. It's just tough.
Will we see Josh Gordon in these playoffs?
No.
I don't think so either.
I think
It's
he's
too
too
bad. He's a little too high.
Yeah.
It's too bad that we might not see him in the playoffs. And like I said, if the Seahawks offense is rolling, the Seahawks win. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. I'm going to take the Hawks just because there's some uncertainty on the Rams. I mean, we have Jamal Adams slightly injured too, so I might play a role, but I'll take us. Confidently.
Yeah.
If
the crowd was a factor in this game, I would take the Hawks because the 12th man. But
I think we've lost at least 2 games because the crowd wasn't there.
Honestly,
home games, it's just different.
It's our energy. It pumps in our blood.
Yeah.
So the next game on the slate is Buccaneers versus Washington. Will be the last game on Saturday. And let's be honest, I think the Buccaneers are they're not
hot.
They're not hot, but they are they're simmering.
No, they're hot.
Okay.
Have you seen?
Okay, the last game was a blowout, but it was Carolina.
Yeah.
I think the game before that they had a pretty good game. You know what it really is?
Tom is hot.
You know what it really is that they're finally on it together. I think Bruce Arians was calling the shots early in the season, and now I think Tom Brady is calling the shots now, and I think now that they figured out how they're gonna coexist.
Yeah, this is classic Tom going into the playoffs Bruce, I got this. I've been here before.
Yeah.
Actually, 20 years in a row. So.
Yeah. I agree exactly.
So I mean, he's just taking the wheel. He's figuring out what to do with all his weapons. I think there was just too many weapons to spread the ball around. I think he was it's like, oh my gosh, I have Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin,
Yeah.
Mike Evans, Leonard Fournette.
Does Mike Evans play?
I don't know. He's injured, right?
Yeah. It's looking like he will come back, but I don't know.
Redskins secondary isn't very good, so I'm just gonna. I don't think it matters. And you got AB, who, if he has to be the premier guy, he will be.
He came back really well, and
Yeah.
he's like quiet too. Nothing really. We're hearing
He's
out of
not
Tampa
stirring
Bay.
anything up, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I'm glad that
He wants to win.
Yeah,
He wants to win. I think, and he loves football. Man, like, I've followed AB through this whole process. I love watching his Instagram. I love watching his workouts and stuff. He's like, he literally works out every second of the day that he wasn't, playing football, playing in the league. Like, just watching his Instagram and Twitter and stuff. Like, he's crazy, but he's crazy good too. So
yeah. I think he just wants to get back to where he was, and
yeah.
can't blame him. He was really on top of the world. I think I will say this. I think if they lose, if Tampa Bay somehow loses this game, which I don't think will happen, but I think if they do lose, I think Bruce Arians is gone.
I could see that. I don't know. I think they would give it another year just because they don't know how long Brady is going to go for as well. So, why put in another change? So
Maybe, but it's just
I think they still had a pretty good year. I think their defense is really good. They're not as consistent though.
yeah.
I
think they lost one of their linebackers for the playoffs though. I think it was Devin White.
They make a lot of splash plays, but not consistent enough, like day in day out. So
We'll see.
But they're definitely gonna roll over the Washington, I think.
Yeah. Careful. Yeah. So we have for Saturday's games the Bills, the Seahawks, and the Buccaneers. On Sunday, the first game I think will be the best game of the weekend is Ravens versus Steelers. This is really
Ravens Titans.
Oh, my bad. Ravens versus Titans. This is really interesting because on one hand you have Lamar Jackson, who is hot. The Ravens are hot. Yep. I think they're maybe the hottest team going into the playoffs, into the wild card weekend, I should say. I actually want to give the Ravens I'm going to give them the win over the Titans. As much as I love Derrick Henry, I think the fact that the Titans can't pass rush. By the way, man, I made a prediction, back in the other episode we did, I was like, man, I wish the Seahawks re-signed Jadeveon Clowney. What an idiot I was. Yeah, man, they are just they're the Seahawks from last year. They couldn't pass rush.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that the fact that they can't do that, I think it'll be a shootout though, because I think that Derrick Henry's good enough to just run through the Ravens defense again. But
yeah, I was gonna mention last year's playoff game. Derrick Henry just took over, but I think there was a difference in last year. Didn't they have the 1 seed? So they took a bye.
No.
They played the Titans. No.
The Titans just beat them. I think it was in the first. It was the first round. Yeah. Because they didn't have byes last year.
Oh yeah, that's right. Still, I don't know. I just think they didn't face adversity all year last year. Baltimore was just killing it, and then they met the Titans. And this year, they did have their ups and downs. So, I don't know. I think that helps the team, and I think they'll pull the win out.
Who the
Ravens?
Oh, Ravens.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree. Yeah. I also want to mention that the running back, Mark Ingram isn't healthy still, so they're going in with Dobbins as a running back, and he's been pretty productive. So overall, that running game is what they're going to need to win. I mean, both teams need their running games to be sharp, and I love Derrick Henry, but I'm going to go with the Ravens just because they are able to pose more threat.
They have a stouter defense.
And they have a stouter defense, and
Defense wins championships.
yeah, I mean that's how they won their last Super Bowl. The Ravens just they had Ray Lewis, Ed Reed,
Yeah.
Terrell Suggs. Anyways, moving on. The next game we have Bears versus Saints.
Let's not beat around the bush.
Okay, Saints. Yeah. We all know Mitch Trubisky is gonna win this game.
Mean, if they miraculously just it would be the defense. It would be on the defense if they won.
Yeah.
It'd be
Khalil Mack
just
could have
Khalil
this
Mack, actually.
crazy game.
Yeah, if he just. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen though.
If he turned into Thanos.
Yeah. One thing I want to mention about this game is will be, if I'm not mistaken, this will be the first playoff game to ever be aired on Nickelodeon. And I want to say also Amazon Prime. So that's kind of cool. I wonder if anyone will get slimed.
That'd be sick. I hope they slime him.
Yeah, whoever wins.
Yeah, whoever wins, the coach gets slimed.
Yeah, they just pour the bucket of slime over the coach.
That'd be sick.
That'd be pretty cool. Also, I think I heard that Nickelodeon is going to have funny sound effects and stuff like that. So that'd be cool to watch.
Yeah.
I kind of want to watch
I
that.
actually want to watch that.
Yeah. And then the last game of the weekend will be Browns versus Steelers. Here's the biggest story about this game.
Back to the Nickelodeon thing. I hope somebody gets hurt on their leg, and then they have the SpongeBob. My leg.
That would be hella fun. Oh man.
Sorry to interrupt.
Browns versus Steelers. The biggest story heading into this game is that the Browns aren't going to have their head coach with them because Stefanski was contacted with COVID, so he'll miss this game, as well as a couple other coaches and their Pro Bowl guard Joe Bitonio is going to miss this game, which doesn't bode well for the best defensive. But they're facing the best defensive line in football, so
Yeah.
And possibly the defensive player of the year. So, I'm gonna give it to the Steelers because the Browns, they won last week, but they barely won, and also Big Ben wasn't playing, and they sat their starters. So
Yeah, and they just didn't look good. I think it's gonna be too much of a tall task for Baker. Baker's not gonna overcome it.
I mean, I'd like to see them win, because I don't like the Steelers. I'm still salty about that Super Bowl loss. In
05.
In 05. Yeah, I was 9 years old. I just think the Steelers they're too well-rounded. Like I was saying, I think the Steelers defense is really good, and the Browns defense isn't really. They're just inconsistent. They don't really play well. And I think just overall, the experience on the Steelers team is just going to overcome them. I would say, hats off to the Browns because I wasn't expecting them to make the playoffs, especially in a tough division like this. Congratulations to them, and congratulations to Baker because I think he proved himself to be a better quarterback than people expected him to be. I genuinely, like I said, the Ravens versus Browns game was one of the best games I've seen, and that's not on Baker. Baker did everything he could. He came back with a minute left or something like that, and then Lamar just somehow did what he could do and won the game for him.
Some MVP, caliber stuff. So
I think they both cemented themselves in this year as really just stars. And shout out to the Browns. I think coming from they were 1-15, and then they had the 0-16 season, and then last year they went, I think, 7-9 or something like that, and now they're a 10-win team, and just hats off to them, and congratulations to the fans. You guys are some loyal fans to still be riding with them, and it's only looking up for you guys. So congratulations to them. But I just don't see them. I think the Steelers will win this game, and
yeah, they're Mike Tomlin. He's been there, done that.
yeah,
You know,
I think he's been to 2 Super Bowls. I think it was
Yeah.
the Cardinals and the
several playoff
Packers.
games, you know. He's always been up there. It's always a lot of AFC championships losing to Brady and Manning, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So,
So I don't want to Okay, so let's just go back through our predictions. So we have the.
could I mention another game of the year, I thought? And it could be biased because the Seahawks did play in it. Seahawks Patriots in week 2.
Yeah.
That was an amazing game.
That was a really good game as well.
Yeah. That's when
yeah.
everyone thought the Patriots were like amazing.
Yeah, people were like, Patriots are
they're
still
gonna
top
go back
5.
to the Super Bowl, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I did not. Okay, so just go through our picks again. Bills over Colts, Seahawks over Rams, Buccaneers over Washington, Ravens over Titans, Saints over Bears, and the Steelers over the Browns. I don't really want to go through each and every
Next round.
I just want to get your
championships.
yeah. So AFC Championship.
It's gonna come down to Bills Chiefs, like we said earlier. Unless they play each other before then.
They won't because they're 1-2.
Yeah. So, yeah, Bills Chiefs.
Who wins?
Chiefs.
Okay. And NFC. Can I say who your predictions were last year or for beginning of the year?
Oh yeah. Well, I said the Niners.
You said the
were
Niners,
gonna
and
repeat.
look, you can't like the Niners were still good this year. Like, they fought. I mean, not good, but they were tough.
Dude, they literally almost beat us
Yeah.
last week if it wasn't for Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Or in Tyler Lockett.
They're a tough team. They lost so many players this
Yeah.
year. Garoppolo, and then like all their D line, like literally Nick Bosa, Solomon Thomas, I
Yeah.
think, and then like literally everybody.
Yeah.
They just lost everybody. Richard Sherman.
They were poised for another repeat, I thought, you know.
Yeah, I think so too. No harm, no foul on that
Yeah.
prediction. I think they could be there right now, but
Yeah.
they're just not because of all the injuries. So, but that'll be a team to be
And
reckoned
now
with
it looks
next
like
week.
who knows what's going to happen. Just because of that year, it kind of ruined their whole momentum of their team. Like,
I don't think so.
Robert Saleh's halfway out the door.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Jimmy G, they don't know. You know, now he's labeled as injury prone. Do they want to move off of him? Who are they going to bring in?
Honestly, I think they don't need like a great like.
I heard they might do a Cousins reunion. They might Minnesota might ship Cousins out to get Deshaun Watson. Cousins might go to the Niners if they ship Jimmy G out. Shanahan in Cousins reunion.
Maybe.
I don't know. I saw it today. Online somewhere. So who knows?
We'll see. I think. Look, Nick Mullins is playing all right for them. So like
Beathard, he did all right against
CJ
them.
Beathard, yeah. Like so, I don't think they need like a great quarterback. Like I said, I think Cam Newton would be a nice pickup for him.
Yeah.
Why not? And then once they get those D linemen back, like Nick Bosa, do you even remember what he did last season?
Yeah.
Like as a rookie, I know he just hurt his knee or whatever, or was it his Achilles? I don't remember.
He was on a tear.
He's literally gonna be one of the best defensive players. Like
Yeah, every snap he's either he either
He's
gets
right
the,
there.
Yeah, it either gets the snap or the sack, or he is inches.
Yeah.
He's like an inch from the QB.
Yeah. Maybe he loses a step because of his injury, or maybe he
Was it knee?
I think it was knee or maybe his
man,
Achilles or
that'd be
something. I
bad.
forgot, but like, man, he's just so good. I really think though their defense will be, their defense at least will be okay.
Yeah.
If Salah leaves, that would kind of suck though. I think he probably will.
He will. I heard he interviewed today for the Jets job. So
Ooh, I would not go to the Jets.
Yeah.
I would go to like.
the Jets are just trash.
I would
don't
go to
know. As
Houston.
an organization, I don't think there's any saving them.
Oh, he should go to the Chargers actually,
Yeah, I could see.
because the Chargers have a good defense already.
Yeah. Well,
And he
even
coach another Bosa.
Anthony Lynn is. I thought he was an okay coach.
Yeah, that surprised me. That was the biggest surprise.
I think they could have kept him. I just think they had wacky games this year that they just lost.
Yeah,
Just
maybe that was a factor.
they just kind of. I don't know. They could have. They definitely were in those games. There's games they were up 21 points. And
yeah.
so,
I wonder where he goes, Anthony Lynn, because he's a great person too.
Yeah.
Like I think people love
Everyone
playing
loved
for
him,
him.
yeah.
But so do people. Same with Salah though. So
he's one of those like culture changers.
yeah.
Um,
But I think you can say the same with Salah. So
Yeah.
I think they'll want to bring. Chargers should really interview him if they haven't thought about it already, because like he's another one of those guys that he's a culture guy. You'll want to play for him. He's a player coach. So, yeah. Sorry, NFC. So we have
NFC, yeah.
for the AFC we have the Chiefs, which was also my pick over the Bills. NFC.
NFC. I'm gonna put the Packs up there. Packers are up there. I don't think the Saints get it done. They just have bad luck in the playoffs. Something about them. They just have bad luck, and I think it's gonna hit again this year. And that leaves the Hawks. And who is Tampa? So, and we would probably end up playing them, right? We'd play Tampa in the next round.
We would play the Saints in the next round,
Saints in the next
and then
round.
Tampa would play Green Bay.
Oh gosh.
I think if anyone can beat, here's the thing: I have Green Bay also going to the AFC Championship or NFC Championship, and I think that if there's any team that could beat Green Bay, I guess there's two teams. I really don't see the Saints. I don't see Drew Brees beating the Packers and Green Bay, but I can see Russell Wilson, and I can see Tom Brady, and so Tom Brady. If there's anyone that could beat, it's Tom Brady, and I think he could, but I think Packers are gonna go to the NFC Championship. I think they'll beat them. But the Buccaneers did beat the Packers earlier in the season, handedly, by the way.
I'm gonna put the Bucks and the Seahawks to be that to play the Packers. I can't pick one. Because I think if
the Packers would play the Bucks in the second round. So you're saying it'd be the
I see.
Seahawks? Because if you want the Packers in the NFC Championship, you have to pick them over the Buccaneers.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Hawks Packers and then Packers win. Sorry, I don't know.
So Packers versus Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Oh, in the Super Bowl, yeah.
Yeah.
My bad.
So in NFC Championship, you have Seahawks Packers though.
Correct.
Yeah. Here was my prediction from earlier this year is I thought the Saints would go to the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. We also mentioned all the wacky ways that they lost the last couple of years. They had Stephon Diggs, Minnesota Miracle. They had the no call PI versus the Rams. Yeah, that was whack, dude. They should have. That was absolutely
It's blatant.
They should have gone to the Super
Terrible.
Bowl that year. And then last year they had. I think they just got beat last year. And then
Yeah,
so.
Minnesota just beat them.
Oh yeah, it was Minnesota
Yeah.
again, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm gonna stick with the Saints going to the NFC Championship, but they, like I said, they're not gonna beat the Packers and Green Bay. I think Green Bay versus the Chiefs in the Super Bowl as well. Who would be your Super Bowl picks? Like Chiefs or Packers?
That is like one of the best games I could ever watch.
State Farm would say the same thing.
That's true.
Yeah.
It'd be the State Farm Bowl. Man.
I'll tell you who I think would win.
Okay.
I think the Chiefs win. I think they repeat. And then it's no disrespect to the Packers. I just think that it's like we said earlier. There are games where Pat Mahomes and the offense aren't really rolling, and it comes down to the line, and there's a little guy named Pat Mahomes who just turns it on and just he's a game wrecker.
I will say that too. I mean, for those exact reasons. It's like Aaron Rodgers in the Packers specifically are one of those teams where they get the lead and they keep it. Almost any game.
The Packers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any game they win, if they have the lead, they're going to keep it. But Mahomes is like Russ, where they will pull it out of the rabbit's ass to win the game. And it's ugly, and I feel like every time I watch one of those games where the Hawks just pull it out at the end, I feel like it's, if I was on the other side as a fan, I would feel like it's unfair. I feel like this game's rigged. Like, how does this happen to us every time? You know, and it's that clutch factor. It's that Kobe. It's that, Michael Jordan. They have it, Not to say that Aaron Rodgers doesn't have it. I think he's shown it in glimpses.
Many times.
But not like...
I don't think to the level of Pat Mahomes or Russ. No.
Yeah, they don't. He doesn't live it and breathe it like.
That's really saying something. Like, because Aaron Rodgers, Hail Mary King. Like he has that, but that's like.
But that's
like
Marys,
really
though.
like
that's
just
like so.
That's
lucky.
like so lucky. But
they don't. He doesn't drive down the field, and
right. I'm sure someone will like send us a clip like, yeah, he does, but
we were about to lose to the Niners last week. If it wasn't for Russ throwing it on a dime to lock it on a 4th down,
Here's what I think will happen is I think it's like you said. I think Aaron Rodgers will hold the lead for like 3 quarters. I think the first half will be maybe kind of even, and then it kind of gets busted open in the 3rd quarter. I think Aaron Rodgers will like hold the lead until like almost the end of the 4th quarter, and then he's gonna control the clock and everything like that, and we're gonna be like, damn, Aaron Rodgers is so good, and then out of nowhere, Pat Mahomes is just gonna like, oh, okay,
just blow the top off of the defense, and it's gonna be, or he's just gonna throw the ball like blindfolded behind his back.
They'll get some sort of like pick me up play where like Tyreek goes for like 50 yards.
Yeah, something like that.
And then find Kelsey in the end zone, something like that.
Yeah, we'll see. But I don't know. I mean, I still have hopes for the Hawks. Obviously, as a Hawks fan,
I'm not saying that the Hawks they don't have zero chance. I think
they
have
played like they play. Okay, who said it this week? I think it was Colin Cowherd. He said if the Hawks play like they played, their offense played the first half of the season, and their defense is playing now, they're kind of a clear favorite.
Oh yeah, I think that's a Super Bowl winner, not just
put
contender.
It together, Hawks, and you'll have a ring.
I agree. I think if anything, the NFC is still wide open. I think the AFC is more a little like between two teams. You know, it's the Bills or the Chiefs, and I still think the Chiefs are just like ahead of them. Just like, yeah, I the Chiefs, and then really I think it's wide open for, you know, Packers, Saints, Seahawks, and Buccaneers.
Tom versus time.
Yeah.
Tom, I mean,
he's not retiring after this year.
No, and Tom has been there and done that. We all know it. He might go home with it this year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't rule it out.
I wouldn't either.
He is also that clutch Kobe, you know, mentality too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And he's proved it.
Yeah.
Maybe more so than any player.
Yeah.
You know, so
I still think they're a little overrated, but seeing what like he is doing is pretty encouraging to say that they could come away with it. But if they play the Chiefs, I just don't think that they would. Or the Bills, honestly.
yeah. I think
I think they can get to the championship. I just not. I wouldn't put my money on them winning it.
the another thing to realize too is the Chiefs defense hasn't been very good in the red zone. And Aaron Rodgers is incredibly good in the red zone. He's almost like Mr. Automatic. He's going to get a touchdown. So there's that. Even Tom is really good in the red zone too if he gets to that point. So it's almost like the opposite of last year where the Chiefs defense was like crazy good and their offense was just like, it was good, but it was Mahomes. And now it's like Mahomes is kind of leaning more on their defense because he hasn't been playing too well this last 3-4 weeks, you know. We'll see. I don't know.
If there's anything we could say about these playoffs is that I'm just super excited
Yeah.
to watch these games. Even this, like, you know, Bears versus Saints game. Like, we already know the Saints are going to win.
I just hope nobody gets COVID. Like, nobody important gets COVID. Like, because that'll just ruin it. Because, like,
it's already ruined the Browns' chances.
Exactly. So it's like, let's say Drew Brees, he gets COVID. You know, Saints do have a legitimate chance to get up there. Any top player like that.
I think famous Jameis should
crab legs.
Crab legs, like,
Yeah.
that's a W.
No, I don't think he would. Even Taysom Hill. No, not beating a playoff team.
I agree though. COVID, like if anyone like Tom Brady, that would just be such a shame.
Yeah.
If Tom or Aaron Rodgers, Pat
Alvin
got
Kamara,
it.
Well, he already has it.
Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara got it.
Oh, really? Is that
I
why
don't
he
even know
missed
if he's
games?
playing this year, or this week.
He should be playing.
Is he?
Yeah.
He might be clear, but yeah, Alvin Kamara got COVID. So that's already one star. So.
Oh, is Michael Thomas playing? That was another big question.
Yeah.
Is if Michael Thomas comes back, which I think he's reported to be coming back, either this week or if they win, they'll go to the next round the next week. Then that's like a huge factor.
Mm-hmm.
So, shoot, if we both advance, then we'd have to play the Saints next week. But yeah,
I'll take it. I like
Michael
us.
Thomas, man.
I like us, especially if Jamal Adams is doing good.
Yeah. We'll be in the dome.
Yeah, exactly.
No fans,
So
I'm
I'll
pretty
take
sure.
it.
So
Yeah, it won't be cold.
yeah,
You know.
Jamal Adams homecoming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jamal Adams too, breaking the record for most sacks by DB.
Yeah.
That was
In
clutch.
12 games.
12 games.
Or 13 or something like 12,
Yeah.
I think.
He is.
That is
he's been
crazy.
He's been the spark for our team for sure.
Yeah. Imagine if he played all 16 games, maybe he'd be up there for Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, just because of that record alone is pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. I'm just excited. The lights off. Lights are turning off.
We're done
on us. So I'm just excited about these playoffs. Hope you guys are too. Let me know what your playoff predictions are in the comments below. Who do you have winning the Super Bowl? If you made it this far in the video, type out who you think is going to win the Super Bowl. I really appreciate you guys watching. I'm coming back with some more heat this year. 2021 is a new year, new things coming out. New types of videos, not just the same old Last of Us videos. I am gonna finish that game though. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry it's been taking so long. It's just like, obviously you're seeing this new setup. I moved. We're actually roommates now. Sorry for the delay, but I just wanted to get settled in, and now I'm here, and we're gonna start. I'm gonna start making some more content. I'm gonna ask you guys for what you guys want to see as well. I have some things I want to do, but I want to let you choose what kind of options that are available for you guys. So stay tuned for all that. Check my Instagram stories and stuff like that to be interacting with me. And I just want to say thanks again. Hopefully I can, keep building my audience so I can reach more people, and hope you guys like these videos and comment and subscribe and share if you can. I really appreciate it. I want to say thanks to Eddie for joining me today. Maybe we'll do next week video. Maybe not. Maybe Super Bowl, something like that.
Yeah.
Because we don't need to do these every week.
Yeah. We're rambling. We just keep talking and talk. We can talk football 24 hours a day.
Right.
So.
Yeah. We'll have to
Maybe
play.
We should do this live.
Maybe. Yeah. Actually, that's a good idea. What do you guys
Tell
think?
us if you want this live.
Yeah. And during over a Madden gameplay or something.
Yeah, you can watch me whoop Carlos's ass.
Maybe Blitz the League, take it old school, take it back, or maybe 2K5 or something like that. Yeah. NFL Street 2.
Any football game, I'll whoop your ass. Don't worry.
This guy. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. In case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. That felt really good to say again.